Good morning, everyone. Jeff and I are heading out to Hoskins this morning. We've got a full plane of just cargo today, something like 530 kgs or something. We've got some solar panel stuff for a missionary out there, and I think we're just taking out just personal items and stuff. Anyway, we're getting ready to load up, and Brad and our other check pilot is also heading out to Hoskins this morning, and they're just gonna be heading out right after us with some passengers that we were supposed to take, but now we're not. That's why I'm filming today. I thought it was tightened down for a kid, but it fits.
Get some more protein in your diet, right? Come on.
I know. All right, well, you guys can see George back there, the yellow raft. That's a 10-passenger one. It's actually like a 6 maximum of 10 passenger. We'll be picking up 7 passengers when we get out to Hoskins today on our way back here. And afterwards, we're going down to Madang and back. And it doesn't look like good weather getting back here at 3 in the afternoon, or 2:30 in the afternoon. That's weird.
Good morning, Gurkha Tower, November Tango Zulu.
November Tango Zulu, Gurkha Tower, good morning.
Morning crew, request taxi Hoskins to PUB.
Hear that crack?
November Tango Zulu, taxi for runway 17 left, enter backtrack lineup. QNH 1020, time check, 09.
1020, enter backtrack and line up 17 left, November Tango Zulu.
As we get pulled out here, anytime I'm talking, I'm usually just putting myself on mute for all those that are concerned that I'm being a distraction to Jeff. Anyway, it looks like it's going to be pretty nice weather out there, getting out there. It looks like we've got some rain above the Northern Island, or I'm sorry, West New Britain. And that's actually just supposed to continue to come on down towards Hoskins. The more we get out there, it looks like there's some rain probably like 10 miles just north of Hoskins at this minute right now. So we've got our IFR reserve on board. You can see we've got a lot of lightning strikes out here towards Madang, which is probably just that big area right over the Madang area, so that's kind of expected. But we're just going to be a little bit south of that, so it should be all right. Like I said, I think it's just going to continue to get worse as the day goes on through everywhere, if it's already starting out kind of crummy at 8 in the morning.
Gurkha Tower, November Tango Zulus will be ready on lineup.
Every time.
November Tango Zulu, 17 left, make a left turn, clear for takeoff.
17 left, left turn, clear for takeoff, November Tango Zulu. Prop condition, flaps 20, seatbelts on fuel, G90 and 63. Gauges are green, we will continue. There's our 63, we'll rotate. I will be able to get above this.
Well, it looks like a pretty typical morning here in the Gurkha Valley with like this low lining kind of just scattered to broken fog layer at maybe 500 feet or so. My expectation for the flight going out there is that we're going to have a higher overcast for probably a good portion of the flight is what I'm thinking. But yeah, I guess we really won't tell until we get out there. We're going to go up to 15,000 feet if the weather allows us, and what I mean by that is the higher we go, the temperatures get cooler. So right now it's 17 degrees out, but as you'll see, as we get up to 15,000, we'll probably be like negative, I don't know, maybe 2 degrees Celsius, which is right in the ice level.
November Tango Zulu, departure time 12, tracking 080 on climb, amended altitude 15,000, estimate overhead Wasu 56.
November Tango Zulu, I copied. I'm on climb to amended 15,000. Contact must be on VHF 123 decimal liner. Secondary HF 8861 at 15 miles.
123 decimal liner or 8861 at 15 miles, November Tango Zulu.
Yeah, so as I was saying, as we get up higher and higher, it gets colder and colder. And then if we're going through clouds where there is moisture involved, where we're -2. It's really in the prime icing condition, and this plane only has pitot heats, just like a 152, so really nothing else. That's something that we're going to consider as we are on our climb, if we can go that high, or if we have to go maybe at like 11,000. You guys can see this QNH thing is flashing right now. It just means that we're just about going through 7,000 feet, and we have this set up into our menus just to remind us to adjust down to our area QNH as opposed to the local QNH out of Goroka. So you guys are confused on why that's flashing. Because we're heading all the way up to 15,000, it looks like it might work out there. I'm going to go ahead and pull out my oxygen now. Said a million times, but this is a non-pressurized plane, so we actually have to wear oxygen once we get over certain altitude.
Moresby 8861, November Tango Zulu on transfer.
Moresby 8861.
November Tango Zulu 8861 is 17 miles to the east of Goroka, 1,600 on climb, 15,000, and will remain OCTA of NADZAP airspace.
Station 8861, confirm call sign.
November Tango Zulu.
November Tango Zulu, Northport traffic, QNH 1007.
1007, November Tango Zulu.
So Jeff was just saying that we're going to be remaining OCTA, which is just outside of controlled zone. This is NADZAP's airspace. You can see we're just going to the very edge of it just to stay out of it, and it works just well enough. These mountains all through here are right around 13,000 feet, so by the time we get out there at 15, we'll be able to clear them. It looks like the overcast is high enough, probably over us. I'm guessing probably at 18,000 or higher, so should be no problem. Jeff and I were just chatting last week just about like how to make radio calls so that you don't forget something. And for myself, radio calls have always been really difficult. So I always come up with different flows to help remind myself to remember to say everything when I'm making like an area call or a position call or something like that. And if you're a student pilot, or even if you're a sim pilot and you do some radio stuff, I know they have some of that kind of stuff on like flight sim stuff, but if you come up with flows, it helps. If you have an analytical mind, then it really definitely helps myself. So what I do basically is when I'm making my calls, like every plane has like, you know, the call sign like right up in here area. So I just start off with that. Like today it'd be like November Tango Zulu is currently, and then usually has right here 13.8 nautical miles. That's to your next location. So if it's Hoskins or something, I'd say, hey, November Tango Zulu is 13 miles to run Hoskins on the 260 radial, passing 14,400 on climb such and such, and estimating it looks a little bit different, but then I come over here and I usually have my landing up there, or I'll have my landing right here. So I try to have the exact same flow every time I do something, because my brain, I will forget it, and I'm kind of like a squirrel when it comes to things, and that's how I've helped to mitigate my like distraction, is to be able to come up with flows and do everything exactly the same every single time. And I recommend if you're struggling with that, if you're a student pilot or even just a private pilot or a commercial pilot or whatever it might be, if you struggle with like, oh man, I keep forgetting to do such and such, or keep forgetting to say my altitude when I'm making my calls, I highly recommend setting up a flow that works well with your mind so that you can do it, I mean, exactly the same every time. Sure has helped for me. Chimes just let me know that we're just 200 feet to go up to 15,000 feet. Well, now that Jeff has leveled us off at 15,000 feet, you can see our torque has gone on down below the 1250, and we're just limiting ourselves to 700 degrees Celsius on the ITT. Basically, once you pass that 12,000 foot mark in this specific airplane, that's where you start limiting yourself by your ITT, and will remain ITT. Like if we went all the way up to 25,000 feet, which is the limit of this plane, we'd keep it at ITT, but our torque would continue going down. We're just 32 minutes out yet to run. We're just about top of descent now. We've just got about 1 minute before they just let us know that it's top of descent. We got weather out there from another airplane, and They said it was pretty nice on the ground, so we talked about actually shooting the approach today, but just for time-wise, just because we're going to be struggling against weather, getting back into Goroka this afternoon, we really didn't even want to waste that extra 10 minutes of flying all the way out in the approach and shooting it. So today, we're just going to get in, get out with our 7 passengers back to Goroka.
Vertical track.
Oh, there you go, Betty's letting us know that's our top of descent if we want to go down basically at 450 feet per minute from this point all the way down into Hoskins.
Course be 8861 November Tango Zulu position.
November Tango Zulu, confirm your deviation.
November Tango Zulu is back on track.
November Tango Zulu, roger.
I'm not seeing those two mountains that are right by Hoskins or the one that's further on out,
Sure.
which makes me think that they might be in clouds. So, I don't know.
I think, tracking for the coastline is going to be our best option.
But we're pretty much already tracking for that
Exactly,
anyway.
Yep.
I'm starting to see maybe a little bit of land up there, but still, again, like we were just saying, it's kind of just looking like there's just like a lower layer of clouds that we might have to either navigate or maybe look for some holes or something like that we can poke on through.
Course be 8861 November Tango Zulu.
November Tango Zulu, Monster, go ahead.
November Tango Zulu, top of descent this time. Request traffic and revised estimate Hoskins 06.
November Tango Zulu, no reported traffic.
November Tango Zulu, thanks.
Just setting up his VREF, which is off of our weight, which is 6,600 pounds. And the way he got that is we just came up here and we have an estimated landing weight right here. It'll actually give you the estimated landing weight if you're going into a paved runway, but if you're going to a bush strip, it doesn't give that to you. So you just have to kind of do a quick interpolation of figuring out how much you're going to burn in the next 10 minutes kind of thing.
Oh, there's definitely a layer there.
Definitely a layer there. From this perspective, it sure does look that way.
Yeah. Then, once if you can see through that hole there, I'm seeing, the town. So I think once we get underneath of it, there'll be lots of room.
I think so too.
Maneuver. All stations, Hoskins, Kodiak, November, Tango, Kilo is 27 miles to the west, 8,700 on descent on the 255 radial, estimating circuit time 05.
November Tango Kilo, good morning, Papa X Romeo, Q400, copy that. We are just entering and backtracking runway 30 for departure to Tokwa. Stations Hoskins and November Tango Kilo.
And correction on our call sign, it's November Tango Zulu, sorry, my apologies.
All good, November Tango Zulu, thank you.
I think. All right, you can just start seeing the little town of Kembe right down below us. We're starting to see the coastline coming in. Still a lot of just kind of scuzzy clouds just ahead up there. And yeah, we're just about 20 miles yet to go. So curious to know how Jeff is going to wiggle our way down there. I haven't said anything yet, so kind of just, as he's just about nearly solo, we're just kind of letting him do everything and process everything on his own without me having to kind of prompt him to be thinking about those type of things. Some of you guys have asked why Jeff and Brad have not gone solo yet. A lot of it's just because when we want them to be able to go solo, we want them to be able to be checked out into everything.
Station is Hoskins, Papa X Romeo, rolling runway 30, right enter Tokwa. We'll be climbing 15,000 stations, Hoskins.
And we just haven't had the opportunity to really get them into a lot of our Class C airstrips, so...
Stations Hoskins and Papa X-Ray Romeo, November Tango Zulu is 4 miles to the west, 4,700 on descent, estimating circuit time 06.
X-Ray Romeo, rolling now.
We just need them to be able to be, basically like Thomas the Train says, a useful engine. We want to be able to just send them out and let them go on everything that we can do, and we just haven't had the opportunity to get them into the sea airstrips as much as they need to where they're feeling comfortable and we're feeling comfortable on a consistent basis. Oh, looks nice and clear under about 3,400 foot, kind of just, I don't know, scuzzy. Probably would have been an awesome day to actually shoot the approach on the other side, but just for time-wise, we just didn't really have the time to do it today. But this would have been an excellent opportunity. And I was just saying, this would have been an awesome opportunity to actually shoot the approach on the other end with how cloudy and low it is all the way to the ground up there.
Yeah.
Man, that volcano stinks so bad. A volcano just behind here, it's actually more of a vent hole, and it smells like rotten eggs, like level 10 today.
Alright, so there's Papa X-ray Romeo.
All stations Hoskins 1271 and November Tango Zulu for Papa X-ray Romeo, departed 03, tracking tips at the 055 track to Tokwa for 3,500 on climb 15,000.
Copy that, November Tango Zulu, thanks.
Papa X-ray Romeo at the QNH on takeoff day 1010.
1010, November Tango Zulu. Station Hoskins, November Tango Zulu is 5 miles to the west-southwest, 1,700. Be entering right downwind for 30. Heading overhead, right downwind 30, all stations Hoskins.
It's interesting, as you guys can see, as we are getting a little bit closer, how the clouds just follow right along the coastline at, I don't know, probably 1,000 feet off the ground. So typical here in the islands where it's like either perfectly clear out of the ocean, which it usually is, and then right at the coastline in where you've had it to where it's like a wall of rain you can't see anything through at the end of the runway. But on this end of the runway down here, absolutely perfectly clear and sunny. It's just very odd.
Must be 8861, November Tango Zulu in the circuit. Hoskins canceled, sorry.
November Tango Zulu, Hoskins, solid terminated.
November Tango Zulu, thanks.
You can see Jeff is just going to be flying overhead. One of the reasons why we're flying overhead today is because there actually is a note that they're cleaning the sides or something that we're supposed to fly over so they can see and then get off the edges. Looks like someone, is maybe mowing right on the edge of the runway down here. That way they can see us and get out of the way, hopefully. And then also just to fly over just to see if there's any other airplanes sitting on the ramp.
And there's the end of the field there. I'm already low, so I'm going to maintain this for a little bit longer. Going to 81.
He's just going out here to about 1.6, because that's kind of a standard where we turn our bases, and it works out pretty well at most places, depending on where the actual point for the GPS is. We're going to be slowing at 81 now for our base, 71 on final.
101 position.
Flaps.
$500.
500 feet a minute, and I got 8 knots of headwind. This is complete. To the right just a little bit for center line.
We're looking for around 550 on our descent rate right here, which is really excellent what he's doing right now. And we're within 1 to 2 knots of our VREF at 71, so really looking good.
Continuing. You actually did get out of our way for...
The approach looked really well. It was like within 1 knot all the way down, and you were right on that 500 to 550 all the way down, so that was just a really great picture perfect approach. So good job on that.
Alright guys, welcome here to Hoskins. My audio camera just died just as we were pulling in. Thanks so much for joining us on this flight out here. Really was kind of a boring flight all the way out here, but thanks for watching nonetheless, and see you guys next time.